Now let the beat ride.
This fucking guy.
All right, man. This is Hot Chicago, the sports edition. And I'm sitting here joined by Dom, who's been a guest on this podcast before. How you doing, Dom?
Good, man. Thanks for having me back.
And Sean, my boy Sean, y'all know him in the flesh, Sox fan. He's
Yes,
he's
sir.
ditched his Bears gear.
Completely. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I went rogue, bro. Fuck them.
And JV, our reporter extraordinaire, who wearing the same hoodie that he's always worn.
You know,
I swear to
actually,
God.
in the last episode that we recorded, I had this exact same fit on the socks, shirt, shorts, the exact.
So
same.
basically, you're dirty.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you don't wash your clothes. You just wear the same shit every
You
day.
sound filthy.
First of all, I took a shower. Let's start
But
there.
you take
But
a
you're
shower,
wearing
you
the
put
same
dirty ass clothes on,
clothes.
then it negates the shower.
You know, let's get back to the topic. Good afternoon.
Anyway, as JV alluded to, we got a couple riveting topics,
Yeah.
which is who is the GOAT of GOATs? So, Sean, explain this concept. You said you heard it on ESPN?
So ESPN posted it on their Instagram, right? And the question was, who is the GOAT of GOATs, right? So they had a picture of Michael Jordan. They had a picture of LeBron James. They had a picture of, I want to say it was Lionel Messi and Tom Brady, right?
Nice.
Which I don't know how you could have two basketball players on a GOAT of GOATs.
Yeah, that sort of kind of kills
Yeah.
the GOAT of GOATs because there's a
Right.
conversation of who's the GOAT even in that sport.
Right.
Exactly,
Pretty
but I
biased,
thought it was
but
a hell of a thing to talk about, right? Because like you really think about it, who would you even choose?
Hmm.
All right.
You know,
And you know what, Dom, you're our guest. Who did you choose?
Ooh.
I mean, it might be kind of obvious to me at least, but I'm going with my man Jordan. You know, like the man obviously has the greatness on the court. We know his
Mhm.
awards, there's plenty of championships he's won, but he has so much effect of facets outside of the game that very few people can do. He owns a team. Nike, he's pandemic proof. Jordan Brand
That's true.
Jordan Brand is the only part of Nike that reported a profit 15% gain in this fiscal year, where all the other departments, training, you know, soccer, everything else from Nike had a 38% loss for the quarter overall, while Jordan Brand itself was up 15% for the entire year. So the man has a name international, obviously here in the States, but he grossed a billion in sales in China, 3.6 billion, you know, in the US. People aren't, and this stuff isn't cheap. People are buying the stuff solely for the name, solely because they know who it stands for. They
Right.
know the greatness. You know, he's
you're not
done
biased because
things
you're from
for,
Chicago.
It does feel that way.
I don't know,
just
man.
A little bit.
I feel a little bit biased, but I think the stats are there. Like who
Yeah.
can do these things on the court
What he
and
did
the
for
things outside of the court.
Yeah,
You know?
what he did for the NBA is unmatched. NBA was a fledgling league basically in the late 80s, early 90s. He came in, he brought the game global, which is why you see all of these huge contracts coming in today. That was all fueled by what Jordan did in the 90s and the early 2000s when he was a part of the Wizards.
Yeah, but I think the fact that you can make an argument for LeBron James kind
And
of
that's-
negates Jordan
Yeah.
as being the GOAT of all GOATs for the sport of basketball.
No, I actually disagree with that, Sean. I think when you don't get me wrong, LeBron is phenomenal, and what LeBron's impact is on the game is unquestioned. Top 3, top 5 player by far. But I think when you talk about the the goat of basketball, it has to be Michael Jordan. So I don't even think LeBron is truly really in that equation. I just think it's just a
You can't say
generational
that.
thing where
No.
people feel as though we. Why
Aaron,
can't I say
tell
that?
him why he can't say that shit because we know it's bullshit.
Like LeBron, the way LeBron plays and the way he puts up stats while still being a winning basketball player, that alone helps vault him into the GOAT conversation. On top of that, what he does outside of sports, it might not rival what MJ does with his shit money-wise, but what he does with his school, like that alone should put him above basically any basketball players ever played, really.
Well,
So to
I'm
say
not-
that he's not in the conversation is ludicrous.
Because what player in any sport going into either I think it's 17th or 18th season
Yeah, you're
can
not
still be
getting that.
considered an MVP candidate?
There you
No.
go.
I'm not disagreeing with the fact that LeBron is a phenomenal basketball player.
No, you're disagreeing
I'm
with him being a
saying-
part of the GOAT conversation, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yes, because
longevity
I'm
is
saying
amazing.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT of basketball, so LeBron James cannot be in the GOAT of GOAT conversation. That's the only point that I'm trying to make.
Right, but that should already get MJ out of the GOAT of GOATs conversation. The fact that he in his own sport still has a debate going for his legitimacy as the GOAT.
I don't know.
That's
though,
what GOAT
because,
of GOATs should be.
Right.
But the thing is, with basketball, anyone who comes out is always compared to Jordan. Like we saw with Kobe, we saw with LeBron. We're gonna see it going, forever. It's gonna always happen. So if you're always reaching to find someone who is the next Jordan, then does that not just basically make Jordan the best? Because why is he always trying? Why are they always trying to find someone better than Jordan? Because he's the best. No one's better than Jordan. LeBron does deserve to be in the GOAT like conversation, but I don't think he surpassed Jordan. Like just think of like what we're talking about. Like outside of the actual playing the game, Jordan is the most recognized like sports figure of all sport, like of other sports too. So many people know of Jordan. People that don't even watch basketball know of Jordan.
Yeah.
So I mean, like even just other players in the league, what they respect of Jordan, like 75% of them wear Jordan sneakers, Nike sneakers. Think of what Nike is just because of the success he had on the court. I mean, this man like basically made Nike what it is. And he's done his things for charity too. Like they donated 100 million, to racial equality, social justice, education access. He put up 50 million of that himself, and Jordan put up the other 50. That's over 10 years, but that's $100 million. So I mean, he's done things to help the community too. They put out The Last Dance. They won an Emmy. He's had success in that realm. Like the man is doing like everything. I mean, he owns a team, so he still has a face. He still has a stamp in the game currently. So I mean, he's doing. He does everything. I don't think LeBron is there yet. Now, don't get me wrong. LeBron's still got more career ahead of him. Who knows after he retires what he's going to do? I'm sure he's going to still have his foot in the game somehow, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think when you have to always compare someone to someone, no matter like whatever great player comes by, I think that puts that person that's being constantly compared to as the GOAT, like as Jordan,
And
Okay.
LeBron has always chased after Michael Jordan. So
Well, he had to because he played before him.
Well, I know, but
Regardless of
I'm
what
saying,
you're
but
saying.
clearly,
Like they played after him. Like,
the point that I'm making is LeBron want to be like Mike. Mike don't
Right.
want to be LeBron. So
I mean,
with
of course, again, he came before him. So why?
that- can I tell y'all who? Can I tell
Go
y'all?
ahead, JB. I want to hear yours, and I hope it's not stupid because you tend
It's
to
not.
do stupid
Okay,
shit.
if you was to ask me who is the GOAT of GOATs,
Right.
I was
Out
gonna
of all sports,
say Zach LaVine, but
that's a lie.
I'm just playing. He's my GOAT. But in seriousness, I told Shine this last night. I said Tiger Woods.
I like that choice.
I'm actually gonna piggyback off that too because that's my choice as well.
Okay.
I'm going to
Those
say
are two
Tiger Woods.
Great choice.
Yes, you'll have people who will say, well, he had a lot of off the golf course issues.
Off the course.
Right, off the course. But you talk about a generational player who defined a game. You can't mention anybody else in that had that type of impact on their game like Tiger Woods did. Tiger Woods by far is just phenomenal.
Yeah, bro. The way he did for the sport, right? So I know the Masters started in the 30s, right?
Yeah.
And in 1997, right, 60 years later, he became the first African American to win the Masters, which is a major golf championship, right?
Yes.
After
Right.
60 years, right, he made Black people want to watch golf.
Exactly. We went
Right.
to a predominantly Black school, and it's just strange to see how many people gravitated towards golf that you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have even thought would play golf.
Exactly. And as
And that's all his impact.
to me, individual sports are harder than team sports because it's just
Mhm.
you and you're by yourself. And the fact that he's got the second most majors all time is crazy to me from a black individual in this sport,
Yeah.
right? That's been
Mhm.
dominated by white men. So yeah, take the off the course shit out of the equation. What Tiger Woods did for young African American people in general, to want to make them watch a sport. People watch basketball before Jordan,
Mhm.
right? People watch basketball after Jordan,
Right.
but the game of golf has not been the same since Tiger Woods has kind of fallen off. And there's no star that's as transcendent as Tiger Woods has been in the history of golf.
But remember back in 2019 when Tiger Woods came back, Twitter
I watched, bro.
yeah,
Boy,
Twitter
people
was
watched
golf.
it.
Like
Yeah,
Twitter
that's true.
was golf. Everybody was talking about Tiger Woods. So it's one of those things where it's like Tiger Woods is that type of player. Whereas you say, let's say 2021 or 2022, if Tiger Woods go out there and win another Masters, like that would be the topic of the world. Tiger Woods winning a Masters in 2021.
Mhm.
Everybody wants Tiger Woods to win, right? Golf
Yeah,
is better when Tiger's on top.
it
That's
was
just a
on top.
fact.
And that's just facts. So, as you know, don't get me wrong. You can say a lot of people in this go to go conversation. I'm interested in hearing who you're going to say, Aaron. You know,
Mhm.
you can say Jordan, and I understand his impact. You can say, other athletes and other, you can say like Serena Williams, the Williams sisters out there in
Mhm.
tennis. They did something very similar. But Tiger Woods, again, his dominance and then the longevity of his dominance.
The what?
Longevity.
The what?
Longevity. Longevity is what you're looking for.
That's the word I was looking for. But y'all, first of all, y'all didn't have to correct me. Y'all could have let that ride. But that's cool. Y'all
No,
do that.
sir. No,
But
But
sir.
from '97, he dominated the game of golf from '97 until 2008, and then he had his fall off and came back and won again in 2019. So
Mhm.
we talk about a decade.
And if not for injury, he probably would have kept it going after 2008.
I mean, if
Yeah,
we
he,
did,
he had hella surgeries, quite a few injuries with his back, his knee. But again, the biggest sports story for 2019 to me, hands down, was Tiger Woods winning the Masters competition.
yeah.
Mhm.
Tiger Woods single-handedly makes the sport legit. Where if LeBron retires tomorrow, there's still a bunch of stars in the NBA that can still make the game watchable
Right.
And
to everybody.
one last point on that shot, and that's that's what makes Tiger Woods, I think, give you a slight edge over anybody from the basketball world, because people in the basketball world are already looking for the next LeBron. They're looking at the Kevin Durant, they're looking at Steph Curry, they're looking at Giannis, they're looking at that next person who's going to carry the game when LeBron put up his shoes and say, I'm done. Whereas in golf, when, like you said, when Tiger is at his top, when Tiger is at his best, the whole world is watching golf. Nobody else. You couldn't tell me who won the Masters in 2020. Could you? Probably couldn't. But
Wasn't the really buff dude? I think it was,
I have no
some.
idea.
yeah,
I don't remember his
No
name.
idea.
I don't remember his name, but I know he like
But it was cool.
he's like a
I watched
strong
it.
man.
He was
JB, what are you
strong.
doing with your camera right now?
Why are we looking at your chest?
Oh,
Look at
excuse
your
me.
belly, boy. That's weird.
Y'all know my camera fell off. And anyway, this audio only, so don't be talking about me. But the point that I'm making is that, yeah, guys, Tiger Woods, hands down.
Okay. And I like you guys' choice, and it was actually down to 3 different people for me as well.
Okay.
So one thing I was thinking about, I was gonna bring Serena, but then I started to dig deeper into it. While she does have the most majors, she doesn't have the most titles, period. In doubles, because tennis does have that team aspect where you can't play doubles.
Right.
What she gains in majors, she loses in doubles. So that one took her off the table for me. Tiger Woods, I thought about, but then I was like, I don't know very much about golf at all. So when it comes to that, I wouldn't be able to speak as eloquently as I would like to.
Okay.
So the
What do you
third
like?
person I thought about is a player that I guarantee nobody even considered, at least in this realm, because nobody really watches the sport as far as I know. I don't actually know if you watch soccer, Dom. But
No, not much.
Yeah. But mine is Pele.
Who?
And
Wow.
first of all, you know Pele. Everybody here knows Pele, correct?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Every fucking JV, don't do this. You know exactly who the fuck Pele is. Shut
I
up.
didn't expect that though.
I'm serious.
So here's the thing. What is the biggest event in sports? I'm not going to just say soccer. In sports, what's the biggest
World Cup.
event?
The World
Exactly. And if you have the biggest stage, that's where the biggest stars should perform. Who has
Yes.
the most World Cups?
I guess
Pele.
Okay.
Pele. All right. And the only people who have close to his cups, because he has 3, and there's like 10 or 15 of them with 2. The only people are people he played on the same team as, so they got to ride his coattails to success, or the Brazil teams of the 90s and early 2000s. So what he brings as a winner alone and as a prolific goal scorer should already be able to vault him. But then you think about him compared to his peers.
Okay.
He didn't have a peer. They tried to bring up Diego Maradona, rest in peace, but Pele stood alone as a GOAT in his sport. And that's a thing that a lot of people's GOAT choices don't really have that sort of weight to their game. You know what I'm saying?
Dom, do you think Aaron's choice makes sense?
No, I mean, it's a good point because I didn't expect it either, like Sean said, but I didn't think about it, because the World Cup is so many different countries. And now that I think about it now, it's like the whole world, right? The World Cup, obviously. But like
Right.
NBA is just the
Dom.
US,
Yeah.
but like I'm like, oh man, like, oh, World Cup, yeah, like
Yeah, because you got to
But,
like that's the thing
makes
that
sense,
brought it
though.
to me. That's what brought it home to me. This is a guy who, no matter what continent you're on, you know who Pele is. I don't care if you live in Africa. I don't care if you live in Asia. Wherever the fuck you live, you know exactly who Pele is and what he did for the sport. Versus, no offense to you, Dom, but with MJ, there's gonna be a lot of people who don't know who MJ is.
I find that hard to believe.
No, there will be.
I
There
don't
will
know.
be.
I mean,
What do you
maybe,
mean?
but I don't-
What
he's big
continent?
international too.
I know he's
Yeah,
big
but what
international.
continent?
Don't get me wrong.
What continent people not gonna know Michael Jordan in?
I would probably say somewhere in the South African region where soccer dominates overall.
Them niggas know Michael
Oh,
Jordan.
see, look at
My
this
God.
guy. Jesus, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Excuse me? Excuse me?
I'm sorry, man. You gotta cut that out. But they
Oh,
know who
keep it
Michael
in.
Jordan is.
I would say so because
definitely
they
know Michael
play
Jordan.
basketball out there too. Like there's a whole like
Right.
World African League or some shit like that
No, I
for
don't know
basketball.
anything. I don't know anything about that. Nobody watches that. Whatever you're talking about, nobody watches that, Sean.
I just find that I would agree with everything what Aaron said, except the part that
People in South Africa don't know Michael Jordan.
Right. I'm like,
If you're
okay,
from South Africa and you're listening to this, please let us know.
please
If
let us
Aaron's
know.
choice is right or not.
No, whatever. But
Please
yeah,
let us know.
But I disagree. I think more people know Michael Jordan than they do Pele.
Because
I'd put
I don't
anyone
know-
else.
why do you think that? Why do
I
you
don't
think
know
that,
Pele,
Sean?
and I don't even know Pele. That's
So,
the thing.
Sean, JB, we're not gonna do this. We know you know Pele,
I'm
or
not
else you'd be the worst sports reporter of all time.
Serious right now? Or you just fucking around, JV?
I'm being dead serious.
You are the worst sports reporter of all time. I'm
I'm
pretty
being so
sure.
honest. No. I'm being so honest. I never watched soccer. Like you may remember, Aaron, like when we all grew up together, like Sean, you played soccer back in high school and stuff like that. Like I never really watched soccer. If you were to put a gun to my head right now and say, name 3 famous soccer players, I probably couldn't do that.
So you don't know who Cristiano Ronaldo is?
I know who that is.
Do you know who Lionel Messi is?
I've heard the name Messi.
But you never heard the name Pele.
I've never heard the name Pele.
That might prove Aaron's point wrong then right there.
That's
I'm
wild
not
to me.
lying. I'm not lying. Because when Aaron said Pele, I was sitting over here like, okay, who is this? Like,
Wow,
so serious.
that's amazing to think.
That's so serious. Like, I don't know who that is. And it's like, you can name
The most
players-
famous person in the history of soccer, you don't know who he is, and yet you know other ancillary pieces to soccer.
It's weird. I don't, because it's funny that we're having this conversation because it was like a soccer player that recently passed away, and he was
Diego
like,
Maradona. That was the guy who I brought up just a second ago.
I didn't even know who
Oh
that
my
was.
God, what is happening?
So maybe I'm just an American that don't watch that sport.
JB, what's your job? What's your job title, big fella? That's all I want to know.
I'm a Memphis Grizzlies beat writer.
Oh, so it's in sports. So you have a job in sports and don't know prolific sports players.
Yeah, well, I'll say
What
this.
is this?
Just real quick, because this is it, bashing JV. As a sports reporter, my job really is to know my teams that I cover and the sport that they play in. But I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know everything about sports. I'm a better feature story sports writer than anything. Like, that's just me. But anyway,
I like the name that you threw out there though, right? It's different. I'm not gonna put him in the go to goats as far as over Jordan or over Tiger goes. But you can make the argument. Like I like the argument. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be interested to hear other people's arguments for the go to goats, right? Because Tom Brady Could have been
Tom
said.
Brady was a name that I thought about bringing up too.
What about Lewis Hamilton?
Okay.
So, JB,
Let's go
your
and wrap
point
this
about
up.
mine was that
Let's go and wrap this
no
up.
mine.
I'm saying, when you think
JB, I
about,
say maybe two total countries know who the fuck Lewis Hamilton is.
I know,
Okay,
I know everybody,
like shut up.
everybody in Great Britain, we know who.
I'll tell you about Lewis Hamilton. He's one of
Yeah.
the youngest people to win a title in F1 history. That's
Yeah.
fine, and he's black, which I appreciate. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I guarantee before I said that, Sean and Dom had no clue who Lewis Hamilton was.
No, that was a dude
nope,
with the noose, right? The noose in the garage.
No,
different person.
Oh, wow.
Very different person.
That's not being funny. Sean know who Bubba Wallace is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mixing
That
it.
was that. Yeah.
That's on
So
me,
yeah,
that's on me.
yeah.
So Sean, you
you're-
said our black people look alike? Is that what you're trying to say?
Aaron,
It
let's go
sounds
bring
like
us
it.
home.
Anyway, that was I love this debate, man. And it's something that's probably going to go on for decades and decades in the future. When someone else comes up, they're going to be like, "Is he the GOAT?" And that's cool. I think that's a cool thing that this debate does bring so many different answers.
Facts.
So before we go, I do want to get some final thoughts. I'm going to start with Dom. What are your final thoughts? Any final thoughts you have?
Looking forward to basketball season. Go Bulls, and let's go for the playoffs, baby. 8th seed.
Okay.
Look at him. He's like praying for the 8th seed. God, that's
Bro,
so
that
pathetic.
is pathetic.
That's
That is
pathetic.
very pathetic.
That's that Chicago sports mentality. That's
I
that
guess
Chicago
so.
sports mentality.
JB,
I
you
don't
got
know how
any?
we fix it. Do we just boycott all the games and not go?
Yes,
'Cause
we
attendance is good.
become fans
Maybe
of
then they'll
other
make the rules.
teams.
There you go. JB, final thoughts.
I would say to all my basketball fans, just enjoy the moment. I think we get so caught up into who's better, LeBron, Michael, Kobe, all of that. Just enjoy the moment. LeBron is amazing. I love watching his game, and I love what he's done for the league. And whoever is coming up after LeBron, enjoy them as well. I think we spend too much time on talking about who's better versus actually enjoying what we've seen. I'll make it quick. I've watched LeBron James
This man said I'm gonna make
growing
it
up. I mean, we watched
This
him
man
too.
gave us 45 seconds and then said, I'm gonna make it quick.
Okay, you know what? I'm done. Just say, King James, I love you, and you will always be my favorite second player after Jordan.
Okay, whatever. Sean, what you got for us, man?
So I took all my Bears, my hats, my shirts, my hoodies. I have it in a bin, and I
Okay.
put this on offer up. So if anybody wants to buy some Bears gear, let me
Really?
know because I'm done with that shit. I'm
Some
done.
size medium t-shirts.
Right, I was about to say
Some seven and 1/8 hats. You know what I'm saying? Just in case you want those items.
It's all in
So
a
if you
bin,
ain't
just
like-
chilling in my closet. I'm not wearing
Preteen
Cut out
little
sleeveless
kids,
shirts.
little kids that can fit some clothes, little preteen little boys.
That's exactly what it is.
Sean
If there are
Allen
any
got
people
all
with
kind of
teenagers
clothes
who really
for you.
want some Bears gear,
7
Sean
wide.
got you.
Sean got
Man's got a husky large. I'm mad as shit, bro.
I should have saw that small shirt
all I
Sean
got.
had on in the other episode. He had
Boy.
every time Sean hiccup, you could see that shirt moving. I was like, come on.
Oh my god. Anyway, my final thoughts are Packers. That's it.
Fuck.
For all of you Bears fans.
Green Bay all day.
I hope this team haunts your nightmares. And I hope that Deshaun Watson puts y'all on a plaque. That's gonna be so amazing. Anyway, that's it. Guys, I've enjoyed this conversation. If you guys have any more topics that you guys want us to talk about, leave them down in the comments. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, because that really helps, especially when you share with other people so they can start watching us. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at HiChicago312. And until next time, peace.
Peace.